Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Styling in the Afternoon, and this is Izzy.
This is JD.
Diggy here.
Yep, and we're blasting it in your ear. Going to give you all the latest news, inside scoops of what's going on. But, guys, I have found the Christmas song. I didn't even share it to you guys.
No, we love surprise.
All this is great. So, this is... When I heard this, I pissed myself laughing. It was so funny. So I'm going to play it for you guys. And we're going to have to end up putting this on social media because all you listeners are going to want to send this to somebody for Christmas. It is so cool. You guys ready?
Ready.
Okay, let me see if it'll play.
Your best friend's a slut. Your best friend's a slut. Your best friend's a slut. She even one time took it up the butt. Dude, my legs hurt so much from these.
I had a feeling that's where he was going with it.
Have you seen that video yet?
No, sir.
Oh my God. So I guess it's since I've did a lot of Gathering of the Juggalos, whoop whoop, I'm kind of part of the...
Talking about
we'll talk about the Gathering, sometime. But yeah, I did a lot of work with Psychopathic Records and Vanilla Ice, and I'm pretty well known in the Juggalo Nation, and
yeah, my son was telling me that if you have the Hatchet Man, that the FBI recognizes it as a gang now.
Yeah, they damn sure do.
Yeah, I did not know.
So
he's the fun facts, yeah.
So that's some fun facts. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll get into something about that here in a second, but that, I think, because a lot of juggalos follow me and juggalettes,
Mm-hmm.
Somehow this ended up in my news feed, and I was just scrolling through videos, this and this, and a lot of drag racing stuff. This person went this fast and all that, and all of a sudden this pops up, and it's this. I'm pretty sure it's the same girl that she puts on all kinds of makeup. She's a juggalette, is what she is. But this one, you would think she was a Grinch, but she's like her makeup's like, her whole face is like a Christmas ornament. It's like kind of hard. It's got glitter and all that shit on it. But anyway, it's like, my best friend's a slut.
Oh, that would go perfect with a sweater where you cut a hole out around one titty and you make that into an ornament.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's a good crafty idea.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
Pinterest. It's not my idea, but I thought it was very interesting. Yeah.
Well, have you seen the videos where people... There's ugly sweater parties. I get it. I've been to a few of them,
Mm-hmm.
But now people are dressing up like Christmas trees.
Oh, I love it.
So, I guess it started with this girl, right in 21, right after COVID. I guess people had nothing better to do, and they weren't working than to think about shit.
That's fair.
And this girl put her hair up in a beehive and then put ornaments and stuff on. It was cool. Okay? She put a soda bottle on her head, straightened her hair to go straight up with hairspray, and put ornaments on it, and fucking candy and popcorn, and had lights on it, and the star was an elf on the shelf. It was cool. But some of these motherfuckers take this shit to the next level. And when I mean next level, let's talk about these people putting Christmas lights all over their cars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've been seeing that shit everywhere. What's going on?
We saw a Jeep that was actually really well done. I mean, he had the LED lights. They were perfectly straight. Every line of the vehicle. I mean, I was impressed.
Oh, yeah. I give them props. But my biggest question is, how the fuck they open the door?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I'll ask if I see somebody like at a gas station or somewhere where we're stopped, I will ask them.
Well, my thing is, if it's like a 2-door car, maybe they start the lights at the door and it goes forward. I don't know. I mean, it's probably something easy. You just look up on YouTube, how to put Christmas lights on a car. There's probably a TikTok video. There's probably videos on how to do it. You know,
Pinterest. Yeah.
yeah, and then you just get an inverter from Walmart, you know, that you plug in your cigarette lighter, or they hardwire it to the battery with a switch. It ain't a big deal. But
Well, some of them are bad.
well, hell, they're doing this shit on Lamborghinis and fucking Ferraris and like smart cars But I'm gonna tell you one thing I haven't seen is the Priuses. Them fucking pieces of shit. I hate Priuses.
It might make the gas pedal stick. Who knows?
Yeah. I tell you what.
I've never driven.
Yeah.
Not against anybody who has.
I didn't think you could make a car like that look any worse. That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, actually, it probably makes a Prius look better. So.
Yeah.
Now I know a Prius can do 100 miles an hour. I seen it. I witnessed it. Back at my old house, you know, there was, you know, several acres, you know, it was over 300 acres, but I was cutting grass and I stopped because I ran out of gas, okay? And I had to put gas in the mower. And poor Cub Cadet, you know. Anyway, make a long story short, there was a high-speed chase with a meth head, crystal methicus, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it was a Prius, and it was doing well over 100. I don't know if they gave the Prius some meth or what they did. And then, like, about 2 minutes later, there's, like, dozens of cops. So then, and I know a lot of these cops, you know. So
Yeah.
I was up at the car wash, and I was like, hey, was that a Prius that you guys were chasing down? That cop goes, that's got to be the fastest damn Prius I ever seen in my life. And apparently, they had put moonshine in the gas tank.
And that made it faster?
So, because it gave it more octane, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
And
That
so,
makes sense.
I guess they only put so much moonshine in it. And this guy was butt naked, and he got out of the car and he ran through a cornfield. And I'm like,
He drank the other part of the
Well, that's how you do that.
yeah, he drank the other part of the moonshine. And I'm like, so he was butt naked, and he goes, yeah, he made it about a quarter mile into the cornfield, but he's getting all cut up. So if anybody's ever walked through a cornfield with like a short sleeve shirt, imagine being butt naked.
Yeah,
Yeah, they make it look glamorous in the movies, but yeah, it's not.
it's rough stuff, yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
so
Like cardboard cuts.
oh, like I wouldn't even say cardboard cuts. I'd say like those cuts like from an envelope, paper cuts.
Yeah.
Imagine that on your dick, you know. Fucking
Yeah.
man.
All up you.
Hopefully be high enough to not
He
fucking
looked
feel
like
it.
a cutter. You probably had to go see the psych when he was done.
Yeah, no shit, right? Now, speaking of naked shit, so we brought up The Gathering. Okay. I've told this story several times on the morning show, but now I'm on the afternoon show, so maybe I'll tell the story again. There's always a good
Yep.
Gathering story that I was involved with, like Tila Tequila. Yep, we were there when they tried to kill her, throwing raw shit at her. Like, they would pull down their pants, shit, and throw it at her. That's how bad they hated this woman.
A documentary segment about that not long ago.
Oh,
go
yeah.
on.
Yeah. I wonder where they got the footage from. Imagine that. Allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, make
I
long
don't know.
story short, the first year I got booked at The Gathering, Violent J called the shop and he asked for me, and I thought this was a prank. And he said, this is Violent J from Psychopathic Records, from ICP. I'd like to book you at The Gathering. You know, can you send me your contract and your writer and all this other stuff? And I was like, ICP still together? And he didn't get offended. He just kind of laughed and he's like, yeah. And then he kind of got to the point, he goes, do you think this is a prank? And I said, fuck yeah, this is a prank. Like, come on, man. And he goes, do you have caller ID? And I said, yeah. And he goes, give me 5 minutes, call that number back and ask for Jay. Like, fuck it, whatever. About 20 minutes went by. I went outside, had a cigarette, talked to the guys in the shop. Was like, man, fucking, some fucker saying he's Jay from Two Live Crew fucking called me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, ICP? And I'm like, so are you in on the joke? And they're like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, fucking, this guy wants to book me for The Gathering. And they're like, down in Cave and Rock. Yeah, that's a wild fucking deal. And I'm like, really? So I go back in the office. I talk to Megan. my assistant, and she goes, "We'll just call the number back." So I called the number back, and I swear to God, I end up meeting this girl years and years later. This girl answered the phone, and she's like, "Psychopathic Records." Like a phone sex operator. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Jay. Can I ask who's calling?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is Izzy." And she's like, "Oh, he's expecting you."
Wow.
I was like, "Huh. Well, maybe this shit's legit, you know?" So I get on the phone. We start talking, and he goes, "Well, how much to book you to come out? I want you for 2 days to come out. I want you to do the oil wrestling, bring some girls. You know, I can introduce you to Ron Jeremy." And I said, "I know Ron Jeremy." And he goes, "Well, then you two can host the Miss Juggalette contest." And shit gets pretty wild. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, you know, no big deal, you know." So he goes, "Send me over your contract." So I called I have an entertainer booker that basically books me places, right? So I called him and I said, "Hey, Jay from ICP called me and wants to book me at this place, The Gathering and the Juggalos in Cave-In Rock." And he goes, "We need to think about sending you down there. I mean, that's pretty wild." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Do you know anything about it?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, where they do it, I know they got this wild bike rally that goes on." He goes, "That ain't shit, right?" So I still don't know about the show. I told him $100,000 for me to come down there for 2 days, $50,000 a day, and he didn't even blink, and he said, "Deal." And I was actually joking. I would have did this shit for way less, you know.
Right. You just you shout out a price, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. We send him over the contract, the writer, everything. Within an hour, the deposit come in. So I was like, "Damn, I'm locked into this, right?"
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my other guys, and they're like, "Oh my God, The Gathering! Everybody knew about this shit except me."
Right.
So you know, I got entertaining the booker, my agent, and then I got my entertainment lawyer. And he calls me, and he's like, "I just emailed you the promotional video from last year. You might want to watch it."
Oh.
This fucking promotional video is like an hour and a half long. There's 300 bands and groups, and I mean, fucking everybody gonna be at this motherfucker. There's wrestling going on. There's this, and fucking,
wow.
I mean, just insane. And I was like, "What the fuck did I sign up for?" So I'm going to try to sum this story up because we got to go back here in just a few minutes, back to music. So our whole crew in this big fucking tour bus goes down to Cave-In Rock. Now, we're in St. Louis, so it ain't that far away, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get lost. Because if anybody's ever been to The Gathering, it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere on private property, and the cops aren't allowed there.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
So we're lost on some back road. There's a bunch of cops. I'm like, let's just ask them. Come to find out, it was the DEA.
Oh, lovely.
And the FBI. And the U.S. Marshals. And so they were like super cool with us, you know. I mean, they didn't like want to search the bus or anything. They didn't want to harass us, you know. But they gave us a police escort up to the gate, and they said, "Once we get to the gate, you're on your own. If they kill you in there, we cannot come in to save you."
Wow.
And I was like, "Wow, really? That's sketchy." So I get in there, and then I go to where they told me to go to get our credentials, and then ICP wanted to meet me, and Coolio was with them, which was super cool.
Yeah, it is.
And then several people from you know, Twisted, you know, from that used to be with Psychopathic Records, and Jay's wife was just beautiful, you know. Yeah, they're divorced now, but his baby mama, really cool girl. me and her hit it off. It was really cool. And, you know, they take us over to our dressing trailer. And, you know, this is behind one of the big stages, right? And they said you got to share this with some of the bands, you know, but don't touch any of their equipment. So the girls had to get dressed and all that stuff, the models and stuff. And here comes these guys, and they're kind of dorky looking guys, to be quite honest, you know. And they come in there and they're like, hey, you're in our trailer. And I'm like, hey, I'm with, you know, this company. And they're like, oh, yeah. And they start talking models. They were so super cool. They were like asking the girls, do you want something to drink? So polite, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to believe what fucking band it was.
What was it?
Biohazard. You know, the ones that dress up like the Rock Man and all this shit, you know. They were super fucking cool. And when we went to do the first show ever at the Gathering, Shaggy come up on the stage with me before they pulled the curtain, and he goes, I gotta tell you, either they're gonna love you or hate you. And if they hate you, they start booing you, just keep going. But once they start throwing glass and stuff, there's nothing we can do to stop me. He goes, good luck, and he walked away. And I was like, what the fuck? They pulled the curtain, and I was just like, what up, Gathering, blah, 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 you know, all this shit. And, you know, fuck you, boo, blah, blah. I was like, man, fuck you. I was like, and they started throwing stuff, and I just was like, oh, fuck what I do. I was like, man, if you throw shit, I'm going to stop this shit because everybody wants to see some ass and titties. And they were like, fuck yeah. And yeah, oh, it was wild. And there's stories that go on for days about the Gathering. But yeah.
Recover.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, right after that Gathering, it was a huge success, right? Right after that Gathering, that was in August. And then in the fall, we were coming through Ohio in the tour bus, and we blew three tires on the tour bus. We went through some construction, and I don't know if we got hit something. I don't drive the bus. We have a driver who drives the bus. We had three tires that were down. It was going to take 4 hours to get fixed. Now, usually we have the tour bus, a trailer, and a chase vehicle, but just so happened I was buying cars online and had my guys go pick up a car. So we had no car, no way to get to the hotel, no way to get the shit to the venue, anything. And this 83 Cadillac pulls up, you know, weed smoking, and they're like, whoop, whoop, yeah, slick chick, blah, 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 blah. And they pulled over, and, you know, they were like, what up, fam? And I was just like, what's up, fam? I was like, hey, man, we're broke down. We got we got another hour or so drive to where we're doing this show. You guys want to make some money? Everybody wants to make some money.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So, they were like, let's load the shit up, man. There was 16 of us in this fucking 83 Cadillac. No shit. Models on top models, fucking crew, camera, equipment. Fucking the trunk was popped open. Had the fucking wrestling ring back there. And they got us into town, and they were like, hey, man, all we ask is for some food. And I'm like, man, we're going to feed you because we're family. So the club owner took us out to dinner, and we fed them and all this. And afterwards, they were like, well, man, we'll see. And I was like, man, don't you want to stay for the show? And they were like, we can. I got them fucking shirts and everything. I let one of them referee some shit. And then they end up staying the night with us at the hotel and hanging out with us. And the next day, you know, the bus was there. It was fixed, and we're getting ready to go, and they're getting in their Cadillac. I went over there, and I tried to give each one of them $3,000 apiece. They saved my ass. And they kind of looked at each other with these envelopes, and they said, Izzy, come here. And they threw it on the trunk, and they said, take that back. They go, we're family, dog.
Nice.
Seem like good people, yeah.
Yep. The next year, I was getting booked for the Gathering. They wanted to bring me back because it was such a success. And I had these guys' information from their releases that they signed to be on video, right? They got lifetime passes from Psychopathic Records to any Gathering as long as they're doing a Gathering.
Oh, that's fun.
That's fucking.
And they
sick,
got a
dude.
plaque too, each one of them.
Nice.
So that, I mean, it was super cool. It was super cool. So yeah, with that said, let's listen to some more music. We're gonna come back and yeah, you know. So that's my experience at the gathering. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stories. I would say you have to buy the book. You have to buy the documentary. No, I don't mind discussing it because I'm an open book. I don't hide anything, you know. But that really, in the course of my career, really changed a lot of stuff. And super cool people, they get a bad rap for, you know, it's like I went to Burning Man. It's just like Burning Man, you know, but with better music, you know.
Right.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I went to Daisy Light Show. I mean, I've been to fucking everything. But on that note, this is that afternoon show. This is Izzy.
This is JD Lane.
And this is Diggy.
And we're going to be right back.